You can have what you want in 5 years. But there's 2 conditions. You have to know what it is, and you have to aim at it. Figure out what you want. Write it down. Figure out what you could do to start moving towards that. Do that with your family relationships. Do that with your friendships. Do that with your career. Do that with your education. Think about your misuse of alcohol and drugs and other things that might drag you down. You want to drink? Okay, what do you mean by that exactly? How often? How much is too much? How are you going to constrain that and why? Develop a vision. And you have to do that in dialogue with yourself, right? It's like, if I could have what I wanted, what would satisfy me? And you might think, well, I could never get that. And I could say, well, maybe not, but I'll tell you one thing, man. You can move towards it. And I know almost all the pleasure is in the moving toward. But if you set up a goal that you think is, just on the edge of conceivability, then every time you move even a tiny bit towards that, you're going to think, good work, man, good work. You get a little kick from that. You get a little stronger from that.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you.
If you lack talent, you can't sit back and say, I'll start in half an hour. I can't do that. I gotta start now. And after I get back from starting, I gotta start again. And then when I get done with that run or that study session, if it wasn't good enough, I gotta go back again. Because repetition is what taught me everything. So you can honestly outwork anything.
So you got to realize that it's up to you to decide what it is you truly want. And it's up to you to accept what pain you are willing to accept. Because if you struggle and you flounder and you refuse to take responsibility for yourself and become that version that you know you're supposed to become, you will be miserable. 100%. You will have every single regret a human being could ever fucking have in their entire lives. And the flip side is this. You could put in the work. You could put in the time. You could say, I am not going to settle. I am going to become exactly who I'm meant to become, because I know that it's not just going to serve me, it's going to serve my family. It's going to serve my community. It's going to serve my city, my state, and my country. And it's going to create an immeasurable ripple effect of people who know that they can do it too. And guess what? That's going to be hard. But at the end of the day, even if you come up short, even if you don't become exactly what it is you want to become, you will have created so much good in this world that you will not have regrets when you die.
The minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it.
Don't let life stop you from living life. All that you feel, all that you're carrying, all that you've seen, all that you've heard, all that you've been exposed to, all of those experiences, they are all very, very real. You may not be telling people about them, but you're thinking about them, you're carrying it, you're processing, you're triggered by it. It's all still there. But do yourself a favor.
That envy thing plays a major part, right? Like, who's really happy for you? Who's really happy for your success?
Genuinely happy.
Like, who's really there and they're like, dude, it's so dope to see you do what you did. Like, who's really looking at you guys in this space like, God damn, man, you motherfuckers started here, now they here. Yo, it's dope to see from the outside and watch you guys. Like, where are you getting that energy from, and where is it genuine? I think that's the separation, right? Because you got different looks that you receive. Right. You got the...
Mm-hmm.
Why you and not me?
Right.
I'm over here. I've been doing this shit Forever.
Yep.
Yeah, now you,
Right.
come on, man. Like, that's crazy. Like, you got a bunch of those.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. Those add up.
Absolutely.
But then when you do receive the genuine and you look at where it comes from, man, I think it's that's what makes it worth it. That's the ammunition and fuel that you need to not just know that you're doing the right thing, but know that the trajectory, right? Like it's going to get bigger, it can get bigger.
Right.
But with the right people around you, your head can stay in the best spot ever.
Courage is the key to life itself. There are a lot of people who are born in situations where they say, well, I'll never get out of this. So they won't. I say to people who say, well, I would like to have done so and so and so. So, well, you could have done it. So, well, I couldn't get out of here. Man, the bus runs every day.
It's like when Kobe said, I was chasing perfection and excellence, even though I knew I would probably never catch it. But just the fact that I was willing to chase it, I would defeat most of my opponents because most of my opponents would never chase something that didn't have any guarantees attached to it. Chasing perfection and excellence, even though I knew I would never catch it. But he had the courage to chase it because he knew what it would turn him into. And most cats wouldn't even go down the course to chase it because it didn't have any guarantees attached to it.
Never consider yourself dumb, all right? When you don't succeed at something, you can't figure out, you're not dumb. You're not interested, you're uninterested. You're not interested in what you're doing. Something doesn't capture your attention. So people automatically, teachers and other educators say, oh, this individual is dumb because they can't figure this out. Well, think about all the things that you are interested in and how quickly you learn those things. Yeah. All right, a dumb person, no matter what you put out of them, even if they're interested, they can't figure that out. So never let anyone, including yourself, so this is the last time I want you to ever think of yourself as dumb. They just couldn't find what you were interested in. If they were able to find what you were interested in, you would have never used that terminology again. That's the difference. You found what you were interested in, and look where it's brought you.
It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. But understand this, life is hard. No matter who you are, there are bumps and hits and bruises along the way. And my advice is to prepare yourself, because football lessons teach us that success and achievement come from overcoming adversity, and that team accomplishment far exceeds anyone's individual goals. To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts.
When you were born, you are a phenomenon. You are unique. Your DNA has never occurred in the history of the universe, going back billions of years. It will never occur in the future. Your life experiences with your parents and everything that you experience in your early years going on up is unique. It's yours. You're one of a kind, right? So that is your source of power. To waste that is just the worst thing you can do in your life. And what the power is finding that uniqueness. What makes you you, and how you can mine that, and how you can go deep into it and use that to create a career path.
Actually don't have any hope or any freedom from anxiety without a vision for your future. Like a vision for your future is the structure that provides you with hope and that regulates your negative emotion. Because it specifies a goal, eh? Once a goal is specified, you feel positive emotion in relationship to the goal. And your anxiety is constrained because you have a direction. You're anxious when you have way too many directions. That's why you get anxious if your car breaks down. It's like, what do I do now? Too many pathways. You want the pathways through life collapsed to a single implementable dimension, one that goes uphill. And then when you walk uphill, so to speak, each step that you see yourself making is indexed by positive emotion, hope, enthusiasm, meaning.
And you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna win. And that's life. Life without those challenges, it's just existence. Don't just exist. Go live. Eventually, inaction will cost you. Just get up, move towards that challenge, whatever that challenge is. Move towards that challenge and go attack it. And you may be successful and you may not be successful, but you will be better.
The reality of life is this: the world's relentless, and it will not stop beating your ass until you wake up and start beating it back. And you know, when I see self-love and all, I do understand where they're coming from. Those people are talking to people who are on the brink, right? Yep. And they think their entire world's crumbling, and they're telling them it's okay. But I actually think that's the wrong message. I think the right message is this: hey, this is how it is if you don't go hard. This is what you're going to get if you do not try hard to develop yourself and get off the bench and get in the game. And I say that out of a place of love and caring for people.
Should is just like the expectation motor of like all of our psyches. You should go to school. You should get a degree. You should do this job. You should marry her. You shouldn't stay up so late. You shouldn't work so hard. You should be more balanced. You shouldn't be working out so much. You're not working out. Like there's all these shoulds that other people tell us. And it's like, and you zoom out and then you see that it's a galaxy with a little dot of dust. It's like, should what? There is no should. Do what you want to do.
A blade does not become strong. It does not become tempered until it's been through the fire. Until it's been through the fire several times. And this is just your first or second time through the fire. And there's a lot of hammer work that has to take place. And then you're going to have to go back in the forge again. And it's hot and it melts you down and you're uncomfortable. And then life is going to pull you out and it's going to put you on the anvil and it's going to hammer on you some more. And you're going to say, what? Am I done yet? Am I a sword for the ages? No, you're not. You're not done yet.
Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down or not going the way that you want it to. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one that's to come?
The bottom line is, no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not. We're not wired that way. You weren't born that way. You weren't that way when you were growing up, and you're certainly not that way as an adult.
You're praying for change. You're praying for change. And your life just starts falling apart, unraveling at the seams. Everything around you, your relationships, your job, it all goes away. The money in your bank account, it all goes away. And you look up and you go, God, what the fuck? God's like, dude, you asked for change. You asked for a new life. We can't go on in this environment that you're living in. We have to change the environment. We have to obliterate everything that stands and start new. Mm-hmm. Because the foundation has to be rebuilt of what you're asking for. Mm-hmm. And if you're able to stay in it, because that's the ultimate yoga right there. That's the yoga of life, is are you able to maintain peace in the midst of that chaos, maintain focus, concentration, trust, and faith. You can either have faith or be in total fear looking into the unknown. Mm-hmm. Either one. It's on the precipice of the unknown. You have to either have faith and trust that when you let go, God's going to provide you with the next thing. Or you're in total fear and you never go anywhere and you never see what's on the other side of that thing.
You got to work. Your time is going to happen. You're here for a reason, but you got to be ready, because if you're not, it's on you.
Self-confidence is self-trust, and self-confidence is the process of keeping the promises that you make to yourself. So The way we begin to build our self-confidence up is we start setting promises up with ourselves that we keep. And when you begin to stack those promises, when I meet someone who's not self-confident, I know this is someone who has consistently broken promises they make to themselves. They start a diet, they don't stay with it. They say they're going to get up at a certain time of day, they don't do it. They say they're going to make a certain amount of contacts a day in their business, they don't do it. When I meet a confident person, this is someone who trusts themselves. So what I would say to you is absolutely, I can tell you exactly what to do. You need to begin to make promises to yourself, set up the game early where you can keep them, stack that stuff and create momentum. And what happens is you will begin to build a reputation with yourself that you can trust you. And that's what a self-confident person has. That's what you have. That's what you have, is you've built a pattern with you of keeping the promises you make to yourself. That's what self-confidence is.
A lot of times people don't want things forced on them, but sometimes you got to nudge it. You know, you got to keep at least giving them the information, and it may take them a while to actually try it. When I think about change, right, I just think about stacking days. Just keep stacking days. Just keep stacking days. As long as you keep stacking days, I promise you, you will see the change. But my coach used to always say, everything that you want is on the other side of hard, right? He had another, I think I said in the book, he said, reps remove doubt.
But if you believe that you're good at what you do, and you strive to be good at what you do, you don't need to worry about what other people think. You need to be able to understand that you have your own confidence, that you can do whatever it is you're required to do, and other people will see that confidence in you. The minute you start doubting yourself, other people will see that you're doubting yourself, and that becomes a weakness in your personality. So you always want to be confident in everything you do, that you can do it, you can get it done, you'll find a way to get it done.
This idea and this notion that you could be anything you want, you can accomplish anything you want, right? We hear that. You've heard that from the time you were little boys. You hear that now. You're already incredibly accomplished. You can win an NBA championship, MVP of the league. You could become president. You could become governor. You could be you could be in entertainment. You could do Charles, and you could do Shaq. You could do that. You could do whatever you want to do. You guys know that. The thing that has worked for me is to remember the hard times.